I'm not saying I believe in evolution, but I still I'll think through it. And what it seems to me is I remember I saw a National Geographic, and there was this venerable, I mean like 100-year-old Chinese woman. And having, I was like, okay, that old Chinese woman kind of looked like a Chinese ape, a little bit. And I've seen white people, real old white people, kind of sort of resemble a chimpanzee a little bit. And then and the only dark-skinned ape that I know of is a gorilla, and that's from Africa. So it makes more sense that 3 different monkeys evolved into 3 different types of human beings: Oriental, Caucasian, and black, or African. And then they went inland, and met in the Middle East and interbreeded. And if you look at Middle Eastern people, they look like a mix between Oriental, Caucasian, and black. That's what they look like. Now, that's a more viable theory than the current theory of evolution. It's not racist, and it makes more sense. Now, I'm not saying it's the truth, because I don't know if I believe that. Here's some thinking outside the box. And yes, that takes a belief that in some sort of underlying intelligence, because why would 3 monkeys evolve in a similar time into human beings? But if you look at nature, okay, bananas, these trees started producing bananas, and the only way to really open a banana is with a thumb, and they were in the same areas that monkeys lived, and monkeys had thumbs. So somehow that tree knew that there was an animal that had a thumb that was developing, and they needed to develop some food for it. Sounds like underlying intelligence either way, regardless of whether you believe in evolution or not. So, and see, because I thought through this stuff, not because it was forced on me to think, but because I thought through it. I contemplated things on my own. Yeah, I was presented with the idea. I didn't look it up in books. It wasn't an unlearned question. It was something that I thought through on my own, through my own observations and contemplations. And but what I think really happens, some outside of the box thinking here. And okay, it says in the Old Testament, for the flood, that there were Nephilim, sons of God, fallen angels, and they had children that became, they took wives of all the women they wanted, and they had these children, and they were men of renown, heroes of old. Now, I'll talk a little more about that later. Now, if fallen angels came down, they had supreme knowledge. And there may have been some sort of beast that doesn't exist anymore, that formed. And or maybe they made. And then maybe they took humans and crossbred them with that beast and made monkeys. You ever think of that? You ever think of maybe there was instead of having a, well, they do say it's a common ancestor. See? And that makes more sense, doesn't it? Sounds like a common ancestor. There was something that was more monkey than monkey, farther away from humans than monkeys are, but farther in the direction of monkey. And they interbred that thing with humans and made monkeys. Hence our similarities in DNA.